that's typically an omni-light. It's just a source and it renders 360. A sun is infinite in the way that it should technically, because of the size of the sun and the size of the earth, the light should technically hit what the eye sees evenly across the board. So an infinite light is used to do that. So it's even in an infinite distance from your camera. I guess it's the best way I can explain it. If you Google that term, it's not nearly as close to what I'm describing, but that's the gist of it. Now, the trees in the background would have been bright. The trees in the foreground would have been darker than the ones in the background. And the reason behind that is, well, two things. One of them is that the atmosphere makes it lighter in the distance. So, for example, these trees, darker in the front, they're paler in the background. The atmosphere, there's fog, and it creates depth, and it's interesting to look at. When the sun is involved, because right now there's practically no sunlight, the front would still get darker, mainly because in computer graphics or in video games, your shadows are rendered closer to the camera. I'm walking, there is no rush. The shadows are rendered at a finite distance from your camera, and because the further you draw shadows, the more objects you have to draw, and that's even harder in a computer, and it slows down. So what you do is you reduce the draw distance to a short range. The side effects of that is because you have no shadows for the trees in the background, they lit up because they're lit from the sun, but they don't have any shadows on them. But I noticed with the sun in The Witcher 3, oh man, I guess I have to wait until, okay, because we're in a, I wouldn't meditate here usually because it's nighttime and I just arrived at a village, so it would have been my RP time to go in the inn and get rest. But I'm going to do it here anyways. I'm going to go 8 a.m. That's a decent amount. I'm surprised my iPad is still up. Cool. Alright. Alright, we got light. Sweet. So let's find a spot where I can see stuff better. It's not a bright day. Actually, it's nowhere near a bright day because now it's raining. But there is sunlight. So what they've done instead, they've made the level of detail of the sun backwards in a way that we're not going to render the shadows until a certain distance and then stop rendering the shadows. We're actually gonna treat the rendering like a painting, where we're gonna render dark colors and then we're gonna paint the sun at a close distance from your camera, and from that we'll render the shadows with it. Oh no, stay there, son. I need you for this chat. Shit. I need sunlight. So, and for the beginning, it's a pretty scene. But from the beginning, I always thought that The Witcher 3 had a weird, not weird bad, but weird, like, there's something odd about it. And what's odd is that, yes, for a more dramatic, you know, sun piercing through the clouds look. No, I don't want to jump in puddles. It's going to be dark everywhere, like a sunset scene, and then it's going to Maybe during a brighter day, we should look at the distance. Am I making any sense, or am I rambling like an idiot? Because I don't feel like if I were to talk like this with my colleagues at work, they would all look at me strangely and say, "What the hell are you smoking?" Should talk about ask the locals about the witch. Resident village were like here were requested to use me fang. This is the okay. Are you smelling a knife? Or is that your failed attempt at picking your teeth?
I'm busy, man.
Okay. Have fun with your knife.
Dribbling.
Me feel more smarter. Like, okay, we gotta wait until the sun is actually like at a decent. Because it's 9 a.m. and it's raining, so we gotta wait until it's like a bright day. Yeah, blacksmith will know about it.
You ain't safe unless you got a Gabrielle. The auto crank one-handed Gabrielle ensures you
Lovely
get
atmosphere,
first
yeah.
shot and the last word.
Show me what you got.
Let me have a look at your stock.
I don't know what I'm looking for though. I'm not looking for nothing, but I am gonna sell stuff that are downgrades, except for my Witcher sword. I wouldn't want anyone to think that, you know, show off to their colleagues and say, "Oh, look at this! I got a Witcher sword. I'm a Witcher now."
So long.
Like, oh, okay. Look at this. Hopefully the sun will stay. Okay, it's a clear 9 a.m. Sweet. It's bright closer to you, and it's darker in this distance, but it's like desaturated in the distance. So I'm gonna move from the spitting lady.
All evil's the elves doing. Tanner said the blood.
So it's still a nice vista, but that's an interesting take on shadow draw distance and stuff like that. What? Okay. So, oh yeah. Because it's still pale in this. I'm trying to get a clear view without having too many trees. Like, I'm looking at the very far, like the tip of my sword hilt right there, like that. Like, if that's my cursor and I'm pointing with it, that pale color is your fog, and that's good. And then it goes. Oh no, it still goes bright in the distance. So my draw distance for shadows are actually pretty far. Because that tree right there that I'm pointing with my swords. Actually, I could point with my crossbow, which would be more efficient. Oh, that tree right there still has shadows, and I'm fairly far away from it, including these ones. But that one doesn't. All right, enough. I'm geeking out silently here, and I'm trying to explain it like. I don't know how that feels. No, I'm okay. I'm trying to talk. An old man? Yeah, I'm going to talk to an old man. I was going to say, I'm not going to talk to an old woman because they're crazy.
Witcher, you've mastered a trade. Keeps the hunger at bay.
Yeah.
Looking for the local witch.
Look for her then. I know nothing.
Okay.
Leave me be.
Okay. So that's how they want me to play, with one hand. I just noticed that. Because the camera will recenter itself.
Never visit the witch myself.
That's
I'd
an
my
interesting...
To our shit.
For the rest,
Yeah, okay.
she can't be a stone either.
Oh, come on. That's not happening.
Oh, it highlights it on the map still. Oh, come on. I was going to say, like, this feels so much better.
Besides, she's got no warts. She's not cross-eyed.
Alright, what do you
Not
want?
a witch with no grey on her head. Not much likely to be inside it.
Well, you
When
mentioned a
never
witch.
sees her, you seem to know a heap about her.
I know what they say. Don't care much myself, but when folk talk, I listen.
Hello, ladies.
Should send him back to the witch. Might cure him of laziness.
Greetings, ma'am.
Good day to you, sir. Need something?
She's the only old lady that I've heard of so far that doesn't speak like a crazy person. I like the fact that had I not have a minimap, and I'm tempted to turn that off completely just to get rid of the orange dot. What was I going to say? She was, and this is reassuring, and it's one of the reasons why I'm actually feeling more comfortable with the idea of turning the minimap off, is she was spouting words about, she was talking about witches in the proximity. So to me that was like a, hey, I like that. CD Projekt Red should team up with Bethesda Game Studios. I don't know if that's a good idea, because there's one thing about people in that trade, and I say that trade like any other trade, really, is that sometimes they don't really get along, or they'll butt heads.
Got a matter for your village witch. Know where I can find her?
I didn't bother with her myself. But ask my man. He'll know. Twerked his back so bad last week he could hardly move. So I sent him to the witch. Came back sprightly as a foal.
Where is he?
In the yard, no doubt. Pain's gone, but sleuth's set in now. Should be hunting foxberries to feed our young'uns. Marion's lad. Now that man, he knows how to provide for his family. Got some water rats last. They had food for days.
Sweet. I'm turning it off like right now. I didn't look at the map. Minimap. Freaking off. Yes. Alright. I don't know why I went inside. I figured she'd have like a different door. Because my house, you know, you go in from the front door and then get back out for the yard. But he's over here. Can you imagine, like, if we're just, like, even though I just brought down the reality that, you know, studios would butt head and they would probably compete with ideas and stuff like that, and they wouldn't agree on much of anything. Just to, like, make your dream team about, like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't want to startle you. I'm looking for this guy, apparently. The dream team of, like, having CD Projects, like, how should I say this, like dialogue, like writing team, and their art team, but with the design of. Then again, CD Projekt do pretty much well on their own. Like they don't need Bethesda's help, but Bethesda with the whole game structure, I feel is more comfortable. Oh, that's not him. Dude, what the frick is your problem? He's in the yard, but he's... Okay, where is he? These guys are working. No. There's a woman there. Oh, is that him right there? No, that's a woman.
They send her to the woods for kindling, where beasts devour her.
Good
Yeah,
day.
that was him.
Heard you know where to find the local